Hi, Rachel. My name is Christian, and I'll be walking you through today's session. Before we get started, I want to go over a few quick things so you know what to expect. You're here to help me test out an app that I've been working on. The goal is to see how well it works and figure out where I can make it better. The session should take about 20 to 30 minutes. One important thing to know right up front, I'm testing the app, not you. There's no right or wrong answer for anything, so you don't need to worry about making mistakes. I'm just interested in seeing how real people use the app so I can make it as user-friendly as possible. As we go through things, it would be super helpful if you could talk out loud. Share what you're seeing, what you're trying to do, and what you're thinking as you go through each task. It might feel a little funny at first, but it really helps me understand your experience. Please don't hold back your thoughts. I truly want your honest feedback, the good, the bad, or anything in between. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. I may not be able to answer them right away since I want to see how the app works without any guidance, but I'll do my best to answer anything at the end. And of course, if you ever need a break, just let me know. With your permission, I'll be recording your screen in our conversation today. This recording is just for me so I can catch things back later that I might miss during the session. It's only for internal use and won't be shared outside the project. Do I have your verbal permission to record this session?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions before we jump into the tasks?
Nope.
All right. So before we start, I want to ask a few quick background questions before we look at the app. About how many hours a week would you say you spend online, including things like browsing, using your email, or using apps?
Uh, like 12 hours a week.
Okay, great. Thank you. What types of apps or websites do you use most often?
Chemistry things for chemistry. So looking up reactions or being able to access articles.
Great. Do you have any favorite apps that you use
I use
for
TikTok
chemistry or
almost
for anything
over
else?
chemistry. I was like, well, the one I use mostly is TikTok, but for like fun, and that's my favorite one.
Awesome.
For chemistry, I guess it's a website called Reaxys that I can look up different chemical reactions.
Great. All righty. Now we're going to jump into the tasks. Thanks for answering those questions. When you're ready, please share your screen so we can begin.
Okay, great. I think
Awesome.
everything's
Excellent. Okay, so right now we're looking at the home screen of the app. Before
okay.
you click on anything, I'd love for you to take a moment to look at the screen and tell me what you think. What stands out to you? What do you think this app is for? And what do you think you can do on this app?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because like the home screen looks like a phone inside a phone, and it looks like something specific for residents of Schuylkill Township, such that they are able to access different, I guess I want to say, I don't want to say just say events, but like different things that are happening in the area and general news that you would get for people that are in Schuylkill Township. And that's kind of my first impression of it.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. All righty. So now what we're going to do is jump into some specific tasks and I'm going to walk you through each one. So how this is going to work is I'll read each one out loud and I'll ask you to complete them without using the search feature as I'm trying to see how easy it is to complete tasks throughout the app's layout and navigation. And just like before, like you just did, please keep thinking out loud as you go. After each task, I will ask you to return to the home screen. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So this is your first task. You're a new resident of Schuylkill Township. You want to find, register, and pay for an upcoming community event. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, if I'm looking for an event, my first thought would be to click on the events button. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then, well, there's just random categories, but I don't know what the categories are. So I'm just going to click on one. Oh, I just clicked on one because that's what I did. So upcoming events, it just has the event name and location and date and price. Oh, I just clicked the down button. That doesn't do anything. But I assume I could just probably click on one of them. Yeah, I clicked on one of them. And this has like, let's just say it's the, I guess the event I want to go to because it's like whatever event name. And I would say, oh, here's the price. And then I also want to get tickets. So I would click book tickets. Oh, great. And then it said what tickets I'd like if I'm an adult or a child, and I could be like, oh yay, +1 for adult. Oh, it's not letting me click anything there. But I would click the plus button for um adult because I assume it's just me. And then go through hit next and then say, yay, I got what I needed, and then go to the pay button. And then I can either, scan my card or if Google Pay was hooked up, I could just insert all of my information from Google Pay. Yay, and then click checkout. And then yay, I have now registered for this event. And then I assumed that was all I needed to do was just do the one event. So I'm going to click homepage.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much. Is there anything that stands out to you that is a positive experience or a negative experience going through that task?
I guess it was fairly easy to just kind of click through everything because it was very self-explanatory. I assume the only thing right now that was kind of hard when I first got to the first page and just had category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just because
Mm.
those aren't yet labeled as something, I was like, am I supposed to click a specific category? Like, I don't know what exactly event I'm looking for. I just assumed that would be like different things, like, thinking specific Schuylkill Township events. The first one I think of was the Dogwood Fair. So I'd be like, oh, if I'm looking for like fairs and festivals, that's probably would be one of the categories, and I can click on that. Or like another one, I guess maybe one of the categories like listed would have been like First Fridays or like
Mhm.
downtown or something like that. And then you click on it and be like, oh, here's First Fridays, and here's all the events that would happen. In
Mhm.
First Friday, I assume these are just kind of basic labels because it's like the initial design of an app before getting into what would actually happen.
Perfect. No, I appreciate that feedback. That's great. So now we're already back on the home screen, so we're going to move on to task two. Do you have any questions before we move on to the next task?
No.
Okay, great. Awesome. So here is your next scenario. You're a history teacher at Schuylkill Elementary School. You want to search for an article and download it to your phone to share with your class next week.
Okay. So I assume what I want to do is if I want to get an article, I probably want to look for the news. So my first thought would be click on news and alerts. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then we have the different options where I could search. I could go to my saved articles or the latest news. I'm going to assume since it's history, maybe I'm teaching them about like current news and kind of how to go through the news and all of that. So I'll click on latest news. And then, oh, I found an article. So about something that's happening, maybe in Schuylkill Township. I don't know exactly the thing I'm teaching. And then I want to save it to my phone. So I assume I click the download button. It's the one that looks like, a downward arrow. So I clicked it and it says, yay, the article has been downloaded. And I think I just want to do the one article because it's elementary school. So we just want to make sure that the students are able to access this article as we go through. So I'm going to click the return to home button. So the home with the up arrow.
Perfect. That was great. Same question as before. What did you like about going through this task and the pages that you saw? Was there anything that was confusing? Any feedback is great.
Not anything necessarily confusing. I thought it was easy to have like the option for latest news. I think something like I know I had like my saved articles, but I think something else that could be important is like different archived articles could also be kind of like a part of it of like important like history based articles just in general that anyone might be able to access of just like knowing things about Schuylkill Township could be like a nice little thing of having like latest news and then like archived articles of like, oh, when, the foundry was dedicated or something, like anything that's like specific Schuylkill Township based history.
Great. Yeah,
That's
thank
my
you for
thought.
that suggestion. Awesome. Any other questions before we move to the third task?
No.
Okay, great. Awesome. We're halfway there. All right, so task three is you just moved to Schuylkill Township and you'd like to sign up for an account with the township and report a pothole that's on your daily walking route.
Okay. So I need to sign up with the township and report a pothole. So if I'm reporting a pothole, I would think click on report an issue. So I'm going to click on that first. And it looks like I have to make an account because I don't have one yet because I'm a new resident. So I assume I can click the sign up button with the don't have account. Yay, I have signed up. So I click sign up and then I can choose my issue. And oh, I clicked on that. That's what I was doing. I got a little excited. Wow, these are all like I feel like very common ones that do happen in school township. The potholes. Potholes are so bad. So I click on potholes. So I guess that's now where issue selected is supposed to be. That would say potholes. Type, oh, I clicked on the details. So then I guess I typed in my details and the exact location, and then I'll click submit. Yay, I submitted my issue and it has everything. And I think that was the only issue that I had. So I go for home button.
Perfect. That was great. And then same question as the last two. Positive experiences, any feedback about this process of reporting an issue?
I thought that was really easy. I think something that would be like nice to have is knowing where it's going in the township. Like, is this going to like the higher ups? Like, I guess like kind of knowing like where the issue reported is going because it like right now just feels like a black box because it could just be like, oh, like issue reported to, and then there's probably not going to be an email because that's probably the only way you access the email is through this. But it could at least have that and maybe like the possibility of having like updates to this of like when
Mhm.
it's viewed by someone at the township or something, or like if it's going to be addressed type of thing.
Yeah,
I think that would be like a nice little kind of like added feature of like when you click on like report an issue. I don't remember if there's anything that said like past reports or something where you can look at like what you had said before and then what is was done about it.
perfect. Yeah, thanks for that suggestion. That's great. All righty. So we have one more task to do in this session. Great work so far. So here is your fourth and final task. You're a parent with two kids in the school district, and you want to contact the Schuylkill Township Police Department to ask a question about the school zone near your children's school.
Okay, so my thought is I'll go to township services since the police department would be a service through the township. So I'll click on that button. Oh, it's not letting me click on that button. So I guess I can't click on that one. I guess my other thing here would be my email. So I'll click on that. Oh, that's the contact us one. Okay, so and then from there I contact the police department and then I'm just gonna click on the first one, click on the contact us. So I just kind of looking through that. So I'm just assuming I filled it all out. Submit. And then oh I like how this has like your message has been submitted. So you can kind of see this. This would be nice on the other one too, for the reporting an issue. And then I'm done. So I go to the home button.
Great. That's perfect. Um, Again, with this one, things that worked well, things that you think could be more clear or improved, any feedback is great.
I guess with the thing that I clicked on the wrong thing first because I
Hmm.
assumed like over town like that would be where I'd go because I didn't think of looking to the bottom to be like, oh, this is like the contact us. It's just like messages at the bottom. So I wasn't thinking that that would be the way in which I'd contact the police department with a question. I'd assume that I would go through the services, but I don't know if like maybe for that part of the app, if there would be the ability to like click on township service and then it kind of like you can't like contact us button through there where it's like you can
Hmm.
also use that at the bottom. So I think that's like kind of like what tripped me up was having the contact us button at the bottom. Because I also
Hmm.
see down here it's like settings, something about money, and then people or friends. There's going to be like what your friends are doing, and like oh you can see where other people are going to like events or something. I don't know what the money one is, so I'm not going to ask that. But yeah, I guess I'm trying to think if the contact us should be at the bottom or if you could have like another one like at in the center
Yeah.
of a contact us. But also I feel like in general when you're looking at a lot of apps, if they have a contact us, it's at the bottom. But that's
Hmm.
typically what I would think would be to contact the makers of the app, not necessarily the township.
Yeah. Gotcha. That's great. No, thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate it. Just to follow up with that, with your suggestion, do you think I know when you went to the bottom and you clicked like that icon that has the envelope on it that you assume that it was like email or messages. So do you think that it would be worthwhile to make that button just more clear as what you can do under that button when you
I
click it?
think just like having that and have that say like contact, like even just having right contact us on there, because
Hmm.
I assumed that was just some type of like messaging button that I didn't
Hmm.
think it was a way to contact like the township. But I know
Hmm.
I like a lot of like new apps when you typically start them, they have things where it's like, you kind of skip through the tutorials and then figure it out on yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but like if there was like a tutorial that had said like, oh, this is like where I contact like, like have questions about like the township or like non-emergency questions about the township, you can go like to the contact us.
Hmm.
Um, because obviously like you don't want to use this to contact the police department if it's like a 911 emergency, but you also don't want to call 911 to ask a question about school zones. So,
Right. Perfect. Great. Do you have any other thoughts about any of the tasks or the app design in general?
I mean, overall, I think it's pretty easy. I mean, even when I messed up, it was like, oh, here's my second thought of what I would do. So if
Mhm.
like the person's not going to get too, I guess, like anxious about using the app, because like even if you mess up the first time, it's pretty easy, I think, to find where you'd want to go
Yeah.
in the end. But I guess I also am someone that grew up in a pretty techie generation.
Mhm.
So I'm more willing to take a chance on different parts of an app. Whereas maybe like if there's like older people who be or just people that aren't as familiar with technology might be a little more wary about some parts of it. But I think if you know what you're looking for, you'll find it.
Yeah. Great. Thanks. I really appreciate that feedback and great job with sharing your thoughts and going through each task. So, with that, I would like to end the session today. Thank you so much for taking the time to test the app today. Your feedback is really helpful and means a lot. And just one more time, before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or questions or anything that you want to share?
No,
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you again for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
you too.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.